welcome back to another video, everybody. I am on the campus of Cal State Fullerton. It is Sunday and I just had to get out. I couldn't stand being at the house anymore. Now, if there were any people around, I would certainly be the first to leave. I definitely want to honor isolation, and the school itself is pretty empty. The universities in California and even the United States were the first among to go to virtual learning early on. So my daughter actually attends this university. She's in her senior year of film school here, and they've basically gone to all online classes. Their midterms were all online. So there's essentially no one on this campus. Now it is a Sunday, so that's something to keep in mind, but I ran through the campus here earlier. It was a much nicer day. It is actually starting to rain a little bit right now. We have some rain cells moving through our area, but I don't think it's gonna be anything that's too dramatic, hopefully. So what I noticed when I was running through the campus today, there are a lot of walls, such as this one behind me, that are just nice and colorful, or just painted in a uniform or singular color palette. And I think that's what I wanna focus on today. So I'm just gonna walk the campus. All right, let's get it popping. First thing I need to do is potentially look at moving that pump just a little to the left. By the way, I am shooting with the Canon EOS R. I have the 24-105. This is my #1 go-to lens. I love the versatility of this lens. If you haven't seen it yet, I made a whole video on that 24-105 and why I think it's the best kit lens ever made. I think that was pretty successful. In fact, for future reference, if I ever wanted to bring a client or somebody back here and place them right at the top of this perch and potentially do a photo shoot right in this area, I think it would turn out really nice. All right, let's get a move on to the next image. By the way, let me put back that thingamabob. The next shot I got set up is essentially these row of trees, this sidewalk here that leads to this green building. I love this olive-ish type green building. So I'm gonna use the leading lines of these trees that lead all the way to that building. And I think the building itself with its colors is pretty cool in itself. Most of these shots at this point in time, I'm shooting pretty wide. I'm pretty much shooting at 24 millimeters, but obviously I do have the reach to get in there at about 105 millimeters, so that is an option if I want to go ahead and do that. So. There's this water tower behind me that I've been eyeballing and trying to get an angle that would be satisfactory for this. Again, I said I was gonna shoot these colorful palettes of walls and buildings that they have here, but this water tower cylindrical something has captured my eye. So anytime you see something that inspires you, I would shoot it. It's not that I don't want to stay focused on the colored walls, but this is an opportunity, and I think it makes for a decent image, but we shall see. Okay, so I found this one, kind of a maroon, reddish wall, brick color, if you will. And sometimes you might find objects that are potentially in your way or distract from the image that you're trying to get. But in this case, this light post that's right here, I'm gonna actually use it as my foreground element, kind of to contrast and provide me with just a touch of foreground interest. It's not the most exciting thing in the world, I get that. I do feel like it's a foreground element that actually separates the background from the foreground or the midground at the very least. So for me, I'm gonna keep it. No need to eliminate it in Photoshop or anything like that. I'm gonna shoot it as is. All right, my next subject is this salmon colored wall. When I was walking up to it, I felt like, well, there's nothing really that interesting here. And most of the images I'm taking today aren't 100% that interesting. But you can work on your composition a little bit. I know that I could have done some different things back at the last few images. What I'm really interested on this one is the texture above the salmon colored concrete, and that's the architecture itself. But nonetheless, right now my focus is to include some of this green grass as a foreground, and then I'm obviously going to focus on the salmon colored wall as my main focus, and then adding the textural element at the top. I think something cool will come of that. Okay, this is gonna be my last image. I have the CB. There's a piece of a vessel as an art installation here on the campus. There's a nice path on the right side of the image, and I'm just gonna shoot this as my last image. Honestly, I wish it was chucking down rain right now, because I think that would add an element that I was looking forward to in terms of weather. But nonetheless, no worries, we're out here, we're doing it. I got some good exercise in walking around the campus for a second time today. So in the end, it's a C+ for atmosphere and conditions, but an A+ for effort, just coming out and doing my thing. Hopefully you're doing your thing during this time of crisis. Stay safe out there. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. I would really appreciate you hanging out with me. Comment down below and let me know what you're doing right now in photography. I'd really like to hear from you. And leave a like if you liked any part of this video. Ring that bell to remind you of new videos that are coming up when they are released. I love you guys. Until the next one, peace.